Hello. My name is S.K. Williams, and I would like to announce that my advanced features have been unlocked on YouTube. No more am I stuck in the intermediary degree. I am now on advanced. To be fair, this actually happened last week. I checked my channel, and my advanced features were unlocked. However, I wasn't able to make a video at the time to commemorate this, and to be fair, the advanced features may have been unlocked for longer than a week, for the same reason that I did not make a video commemorating the event. For you see, I am actually caring for a house in a remote area. That means that I don't have internet access for most of the days of the week. Only 3 or 4 days of the week do I actually get internet access. So I don't regularly check my channel, and I don't regularly post videos. So it may be that a week and a half has gone by since my advanced features were unlocked. But they are finally unlocked. And it only took about 6 months to unlock the advanced features, which, if you're not familiar with creating channels on YouTube, is actually longer than it says that it ought to take. For this channel, though, it may not be so unusual, and I'll explain why in a moment, but I created 2 channels. And it took about 6 months to get either of them their advanced features. One is the Bishop's Bible channel, where I present an audio book where I read the Bishop's Bible, and I've set it to whimsical animation, as I call it. Really crude, simplistic animation that doesn't so much attempt to animate the actual biblical stories as simply to give you something visual to look at. Although sometimes what is being discussed in the chapter is in some way illustrated, though not reenacted. That channel has released videos daily, and has been releasing videos daily since March of 2026. Although I typically, for my own accounting purposes, say it began in April, because I'm 3 months behind on the amount of videos that I ought to have on it. I was supposed to begin in January, after all. But I'll discuss that later. And then I created this channel. This channel largely exists as a replacement to an older channel that I have that YouTube decided to restrict for whatever reason. But that's sort of the point. Part of the reason why this channel took so long to go from the intermediate degree to the advanced degree in YouTube channel creation was because early on, after I created this channel, I focused most of my attention on the Bishop's Bible channel to get it started, because it's a much more massive undertaking that involves a lot more work. But once it's up and running, it should largely run on automatic. This channel, while the content on it is going to be more fluid, because whereas the Bishop's Bible channel is only me reading the Bishop's Bible and not really much else, this channel can address current events and philosophical topics that interest me. But I generally only release 1 video a week, maybe 2 or 3. That's why the restrictions that one finds in the intermediary level, where you're only allowed 10 video uploads a day, wasn't much of a hindrance for this channel, but it was for the Bishop's Bible channel, where I can't load videos every day since I didn't have internet access every day, and my original plan was to have 3 chapters of the Bible a day for 6 days a week, with a psalm from the Great Bible Psalms on Saturdays, for a total of 19 videos per week, which I could not maintain. I had to change the schedule until my advanced features were unlocked. Well, on this channel, 1 video at a time is fine. Although I can't send feedback and I can't monetize my videos in the intermediary stages of a channel's creation. I can load videos, and in intermediary they can be as long as I need them to be. Still, for the first 2 or so months, I didn't really regularly upload videos, didn't have a regular schedule, and focused most of my attention on the other channel. And if you look in your side tabs and find the feature eligibility that tells you what level you're on, it will have 3 levels: basic, intermediary, and advanced. And if you look, there is a circle with a question mark in it, and if you look on that, it gives you more information about this and what makes you eligible. And one of them said that you can gain access by showing your ID, recording a 6-second video of yourself reading a pre-scripted line that they created, or simply building up your content. And I chose to build up my content as the way that I transitioned from intermediary to advanced. And if you look, it says if you choose this option, it usually takes most content creators about 2 months to build up enough videos to gain your advanced features. And it took 6 months. But of course, part of that was because I wasn't regularly uploading videos. I even went 2 or 3 weeks without loading a new video, and when I did not have an actual proper schedule. I've rectified most of those. I try and load videos every Wednesday now. But early on, I didn't. Add to that the fact that I'm only loading 1 video per week, and I'm not putting a lot of effort into them because I'm really trying to work on my Bishop's Bible channel and a few other things that I have to work on. It makes sense that I didn't advance quite as rapidly on this channel as I did on my Bishop's Bible channel. Or at least it would if there was a significant difference in the levels of advancement. Don't get me wrong, the Bishop's Bible channel had its advanced features unlocked before this channel's were unlocked, even though both channels were created on the same day. But it's only been about 3 weeks since the Bishop's Bible's advanced features were unlocked, which means that about 2 weeks passed between the Bishop's Bible gaining its advanced features and this channel getting its advanced features. And the Bishop's Bible has been releasing videos every day since March and has a much larger video content library than this channel does. So it's very unusual that it took about 6 months to unlock the advanced features on the Bishop's Bible channel, or perhaps 5.5 months would be more accurate. It took that long, but it really shouldn't have. And I am worried that YouTube is being overly, shall we say, cautious when it comes to channels, especially those with religious themes, because they will associate religion and religiosity with conservatism, just like being an atheist, being a secularist with no religion will equate with being left-wing. That's how the system works, which is rather daft in my view, since atheism is not really a mere lack of belief in a God. It's obvious when people say, I'm an atheist, and make it a big part of their identity that they believe certain things. So that the reason we equate being an atheist with being left-wing is because it's largely true. And it's obvious that modern-day secularism is a form of religion in its own right, but we tend to frame it as if it's the opposite. It's not a religion at all. It's the lack of a religion, just like atheism is a lack of belief. But we all know that, in reality, atheist channels tend to be progressive and they attack Christianity. And Christianity is associated with being right-wing and conservative. And I know that there are progressive Christians and there are left-wing Christians, but I'm talking about the general perception. And I honestly do think that the moderation on this site tends toward progressivism and left-wing views. So they're not really happy with either of my channels, and that is why they would drag their feet on them. But again, my Bishop's Bible channel isn't preaching right-wing politics. It isn't a MAGA channel where we support Trump. It's not really a political channel at all. I just read the Bible, and considering how difficult it was to create these channels and get them through the authorization period, I may, after I'm done reading the Bishop's Bible, move on to other literature and put it on the same channel, especially other Bible translations, but also things like the Quran and the Book of Mormon, perhaps other religious texts from Buddhism or Shinto or Taoism, perhaps church fathers, perhaps sermons, famous sermons that I could read. But for the most part, the channel is just a depository. It isn't really designed to promote any sort of agenda, but it's just coded in their minds as right-wing because of its subject matter being, well, the Bishop's Bible. Especially if you're not programmed to think in terms of translations and you just see the word bishops and Bible and think it's some sort of preaching channel because you're an intelligent synthetica. This channel, it's probably more accurate to see me as right-wing and conservative, though to be fair, I'm not overly political. Part of the reason, of course, is that when I'm in the intermediary stage, I know how this site works, so I wouldn't get too problematic with my content in terms of how they view it, at least until I hit my advanced features, obviously. But even now, even though I do plan on speaking about social issues and political issues, I'm not a right-wing commentator in the vein that they are thinking of. I'm not going to predominantly fixate on politics, and my political views are not entirely what modern people are thinking of as right-wing. I'm not the next Matt Walsh. I'm not the next Michael Knowles. I'm not even the next Candace Owens, although that may be rather entertaining. I have certain views. They generally align more with tradition, which to them means right-wing and conservative. But I don't tend to focus as much on politics, as I do broader philosophical themes. Although in the modern world I almost have to focus on politics because it's taken over everything. But my content really shouldn't have taken this long to unlock. And considering that the Bishop's Bible channel also took about this long, I don't think it's just the lack of content on my channel. I would have if I had created this channel without creating the Bishop's Bible channel. Had I created just this channel and it took 6 months, I could say, well, it says it takes about 2 months to establish the channel's library and history. But it took me 6 months. But maybe it's just because I don't post very often. There are plenty of people who are posting 3 or 4 times a week or even up to every day, and I'm just not posting that much. But with the Bishop's Bible, it puts a very different light on the topic. Still, nevertheless, I am glad that I finally have my advanced features unlocked. Of course, I had them unlocked just in time for YouTube to begin demonetizing several channels. Of course, they were doing this before my advanced features were unlocked. So my chances of getting monetized right now are very low anyway. Fortunately, they would have been low even before the purge, simply because I don't have that many viewers yet, and it will take time to build an audience. Although I don't really think building an audience will be easy either, considering that it was already difficult to do so on YouTube and being noticed and standing out from the crowd. Even if you were an excellent presenter, and I'm not an excellent presenter, I'm an excellent speaker, and I think that my ideas have weight and merit and should be listened to, but I'm not very big on video production, and I don't have the money to just hire people to do it for me. My videos are very simplistic. But this platform does tend to use its control over the platform, both to ban people it doesn't like, and more insidiously, to allow you to post content, but then to not show it to anyone. They call it shadow banning, where technically you're up and live, people can go to your video. If you posted a link somewhere, they could follow it, but it doesn't show up in the search results, or if it does, it's something like search result 5602. Things that are completely unrelated to a search term might show up before you do. This is how the platform tends to treat people it does not wish to grow and expand. And it doesn't want conservatives to grow. It doesn't want Christian channels to grow. They have been, because there's been a tidal shift. We are no longer moving toward a progressive vision of the future, and we're pulling back, becoming more traditional and more conservative. I don't think the conservative movement can last either, but I do think it will last longer than the progressive movement, although it will fracture and a new progressivism will emerge in the future. Not because, I'm not saying that as an optimistic progressive. I'm saying that because that's how the cycles of history work. And it's all because they refuse to get to the taproot of the real issue, but I'll save that for another video. But I will say this. I am hoping now that I have advanced features unlocked, I can grow at least some moderate interest in my videos, and perhaps someone can listen to me. But I don't really have much else to say, so I shall take my leave of you now. A thank you, a God bless, and goodbye.